Yeah.
I think we all need to take a breath, don't
Well,
we?
that's
And
what I
really
want-
receive. Yeah.
That's what I want to recap about,
Okay,
is
please
because
do.
the energy that is being supported here is beyond the technology of density.
Yeah.
It is beyond the technology of modern, let's just call it ways of video and such. And that the frequency is sometimes interfered with or incompatible with your devices.
Yeah.
We don't know why, for sure, why our stream got interrupted. But here's what we can tell you for sure. We are here. We're continuing to be connected. And we're going to continue with this presentation because there's a lot to share that's really important for this time.
Yeah.
And we were just talking a minute ago about the quality of this co-created environment that we call the game board, the vast consciousness, and how that for many, many years, people who were motivated to improve themselves used the tools of the game board for self-improvement. Mm-hmm. And this meant winning at the game. This meant having a good life as defined by the culture, as defined by the religion or whatever other context that you adopted. And that those are the avenues that are given to you by the conventional mass consciousness. And then there's different levels of it, and they're all wonderful things to experience. However, the path of self-ascension means we come to a point of recognizing that this is an experience that you can engage, not a definition of who you are.
Breathe that in, because that's so important. Let's share that again, Sri.
Your life up to this point, for most people, is simply an experience that you are engaging. And for many people, the quality of your life becomes your definition. In fact, you are not that life. That is only an experience you are having.
Yeah.
And when we begin to step back behind the projector a little bit and look at the movie, we gain within ourselves the understanding that this is a divine, delightful, wonderful experience. It isn't meant, when you awaken, it can feel unstable at times because you're peeling away false paradigms. Mm-hmm. But actually, it is not unstable. It is not crazy making. It is another experience of the relaxation of the ego controls. All paths of awakening involve the relaxation of the ego. How you choose to do that, whether it's live a life and on your deathbed you let go of the ego and you go, oh, wow, there they all are, all the angels and helpers, and boom. Or you awaken maybe gradually or sometimes somewhat suddenly throughout this life. That's up to you. That's your path. However, the thing that we're here to share with you is you have community. That we are here, that there is a community of awakened beings who are discovering the fullness of their mastery, and that through this awakening, we can learn ever more about the truth of our soul's journey.
Yesterday, I want to share that, because yesterday when Sri and I were up, and we're going to show you the video in a few moments, but when we were up at the temple, there was a moment of such exquisite remembrance, and it was the first time we had a spontaneous massive ensoulment come through, and lots of things we're going to be showing you. But it was very much the energy of when we can stand together and honestly see the equality of the one and the all, when the ego no longer binds us and the inspiration guides us, that is the moment at hand. And unless we can demonstrate that right now, not in a Hollywood movie, not by having to wear a badge, not by having to do anything other than just say yes to who you are, to just honestly say yes to who you are. You are, because I am. Each, the one, is. When we can stand together and see the equality of the all, and it takes the all to see, that's how the shift happens. And so as we expand our consciousness, the first thing that starts hurting is our physical body, because the ego wants it to. Remember that the ego is a sly pirate. The ego will do anything and everything, and fair, unfair, doesn't care, to keep you from expanding too much. And so the first line of defense for the ego is the physical body. How many people do you know that are defined by their illnesses, defined by the drugs they take, defined by what they have in common with others? How many people do you know? This is that week of breaking free of the definitions of the body. This is a beautiful protoplasmic jumpsuit that we get to play with and alter and experience through. Judging it is an energy that limits it and limits ourselves, does it not? And so this is a profound moment of healing that is upon us all. To be able to really, I mean, really say yes to the multidimensional presence, the expanded mastery, the yoga of self-ascension in form through the sourced soul. Mm-hmm. You know, twin flame, twin soul. And I really, that's part of why I love this, right? Yeah. Don't we love this? All these little cuties.
2 by 2
and
by
did you
2.
see the babies? Look, there's babies. I didn't see the babies earlier. It's like, I didn't see them. I think we birthed them while we've been on the air. All right, guys. So, and there's babies. So in this energy of twin flame, twin soul, the most important gift, and this is part of the mind expansion, the most important gift you can ever give to yourself is to release the conceptual mind that has been fed the planetary spin, and to ascend through that by inviting that which you know to not be in resistance with that which wants to know. There is a big difference between that which you know and that which wants to know.
Yeah, and one of the essential things, and this is the foundation of all healing, is to be able to love yourself through the evolutionary voids. When we transition from one understanding of how things are to a more expanded one, there's a moment of void. Well, I'm letting go of, and I don't, what can I trust? You're making me crazy. I thought I understood things. The mind freaks out because the ego wants to hold on to the old paradigm. The ego is like a little guy trying to drive the car, trying to drive the life, and the soul is this big, beautiful energy that says, "Go ahead, go ahead. You know, I'm patient. Have your day." And there comes a point where we realize that the egoic way of being no longer is satisfying for the true evolutionary process that we took birth to manifest.
So now here's where twin flame, twin soul comes in. Twin flame happens at that level of that experience. The twin flame energy, and this is why so many people get confused around this, because it's all twin flame, twin flame, twin flame. Well, it's very much, yes, because it's very much about the weaving together of the element of this experience. So there is that energy very much so that exists, and it very much is a twin flame energy. But it exists in a very different experience. And then there is the experience of that same energy as a twin soul experience. And that is happening simultaneously sometimes in a different realm of experience. And that's one of the most important things. And I think you were saying it so beautifully. I wanted to really just emphasize that right there.
You know, there's many perspectives on truth. You know, it's the old metaphor of the blind man touching an elephant.
I love that.
And when you try to approach truth from the ear of the elephant, it's quite a different experience than the nose of the elephant or the foot. You know, and so nothing negates anything else. It's only the ego that thinks it's limited.
Right.
So as we grow through layers of, I think I got it, oh my God, I've fallen apart. Oh, I think I got it, oh my God, I've fallen apart. We go through our dark nights of the soul, we come out stronger, brighter, more connected, and then sometimes we have another dark night of the soul. These are these kind of breaths, these expansion and contractionary moments they're part of the journey. the journey is there because of the equipment. And the equipment includes the mind and the ego and the physical body that each have their own imperatives. So from a most fundamental standpoint, when we're completely naive and Santa Claus is happy and the Easter Bunny's coming tomorrow, and I'm just using metaphors to describe this state of immersion, when we're immersed, it's kind of like ignorance is bliss, is it not? And then we cannot help but grow up. We cannot help but relax the intoxication of immersions.
Right.
But we look for new intoxications because we like that state of immersion.
Well, that's the addiction. And that's what's going on. And that's part of this 7-day challenge, is that right now in this up level, remember, these next 4 days are going to be 48 days. Take that in. So these next 48 days, which will culminate Wednesday night, we're going to be diving into that illuminated new moon. Take advantage of this time right now. Take advantage of this time. Wow.
I'll finish one paradox.
Please.
So the immersion that is sought by the being who really wants to experience oneness,
Right?
it seems like you're losing it until the portal of divine recognition opens. And then what we experience is not immersion, it's union. Now, this is a sophisticated difference.
Yeah.
When we start experiencing union, whether it's with a partner, with the divine, the union energy is a dissolving of the sense that I was separate. And everything is one.
Yeah.
That is the mystical experience that will truly nourish you, that most people are seeking without perhaps having the words to describe it. This is why the twin flame versus twin soul becomes kind of the first stopping point as we're evolving out of our pure egoic stance, looking for our other half. It's oftentimes
and it can get confusing. So let's just share this, that you may have said, well, wait a minute. I had a twin flame, but now I have this other person. And how could I have two if this one was that or that one was that? Because we are infinite. Because there are so many expressions of the being that you are. And that, again, to be able to fully embrace this is an expansion of the mind. And giving an example, my fourth husband and I looked like identical twins in some respects. And I never really paid attention to it that much until after we were married, and people would be like, are you guys brother and sister? And ironically, he knew our past life experience and had never shared it with me. And I had no idea. I just was completely blinded by it until I had an incredibly profound past life regression and saw that he was my twin brother and that we had both been brought to the same concentration camp. And I don't need to go into all the details, but we both died at 4 years old in different areas of a camp. And the reason I'm sharing that with you is because he was very much a density twin. There was very much a karmic energy there. There was very much part of the experience of the twin energy. We very much were a twin flame energy, so much so that we ignited each other out. Yeah. And what's so fascinating is that we were twin souls, not twin souls, but we were twin energies that have seemed to have always incarnated in different forms of the same aspect, meaning male, female, but always in two very unique different forms. Because in this lifetime, his energy resonated with the soul group of a twin. Yet I am and will always be a one with my husband, right? We are a union. We are a union. He and I, he is a dual. His other dual, I believe, was very much his first wife. And then our experience was because of a twin flame through the aspect of density. Shri and I are literally twin soul energies, meaning that we are one soul that has the experience of this, as do all souls have that potential, yet not in the way that this type of soul experiences it. And that's why soul sourcing is so important, is because all the answers to everything I just said is more than a show. It's a whole experience, and you have to be attuned, and that's what we're doing.
So it's important. I hope that this is kind of tickling your recognition a little bit.
The remembrance, right? Like deep within, you're like, oh, I'm starting to get
because
this.
so many people get confused by the twin flame romance, so to
Right,
speak,
right.
and oftentimes there is this karmic reason to come together, like Kira described her experience. And what that karmic reason, part of it is a resolution.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is coming to completion with this other being.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, it can feel like I found my twin soul.
Right.
There's that excitement, that sense of, I know this person, that we have work to do together, that we're beautiful together, et cetera, et cetera. All that's lovely and true. However, when the completion happens, they go, where did the magic go? Because we're now complete with that energy. Versus the deeper, and through soul sourcing to be able to recognize it, the deeper union is an endless progression of an expansion of love.
And this is the gift, is that every being has of course there's a twin soul. We are all the infinite reflection of the mirror. This is where and it was Archangel Zadkiel who shared this with Shri and I. It's in our books, where Zadkiel talked about the 4 soul groups, these 4 original soul groups. And what is so fascinating is that we are now living in an area that they are calling the Temple of Creation. And so I really want to show them the video. I think we need to talk a little bit about this video we're getting ready to show you, because a lot of things happened yesterday, so much so that Shri and I lost the entire day. We were incapable of doing anything else after our experience up at the temple yesterday.
Just a little nugget.
Yeah, no, please, we need the nuggets.
Because we were talking about soul sourcing,
Right.
Through the conversation of twin souls, twin flames. Soul sourcing is far more than just that.
Oh, it's so far beyond. Yes.
And this way, please do yourself a favor. Click on the link, find and enroll. It starts Monday the 14th. There's just a
And
day
it had
away.
it had to bridge the up level. We had to do the first initiation attunement before the up level, and then there's a specific thing to the up level, and then the culminating one on the following Monday.
It
so
is
be
a
there.
2-part experience,
Yeah.
and it supports the indigenous and the outreach programs
We're
that
doing
we
it
have
as a
lovingly
donation.
committed to.
Yep, we're not.
So,
we're just teaching it. Just be there.
That said, now
Yeah.
back to what we're sharing about our experience
Yeah.
yesterday, as we touched in with the Temple of Creation.
Crazy.
That the activation was so deep and so profound that we completely lost all sense of time.
Yeah.
And, we looked up and all of a sudden it's 8 o'clock at night kind of thing. And
Yeah.
we were up there at noon.
And we were just kind of sitting there and really in such a beautiful transcendent bliss state that everything else was just challenging.
And this is one of the paradoxes that's really fun, is
Yeah.
to be in the multi-dimensional capacity, to be
Yes.
connected beyond the form into the formless, and the various gradations of form. The dimensional strata each have form, but it's quite different than what we're used to as a density being. And to be able to transit dimensions while still maintaining your body. And remember that the timeline, for the most part, is tied into this density experience.
Right?
And that I hate to say I'm bridging concepts here, but here we go. That density and our shared world is experiencing a compression.
Right? This is why your ego's freaking out.
The time and the energy is compressing, and this is part of why one day is like 12. And so, so winding back, we were so touched and delighted to be able to feel this connection and to have it activate within us a recognition.
And a star consciousness activation, get ready, we're putting it in here.
Yeah, and through that we experienced a healing.
Yeah.
As will you when you come. Yeah. And our energy and enthusiasm to be of service, to keep the conversation alive with truth, with honest sharing, with authentic beingness, is how we can serve and assist. And so we want to offer you this video. What else do you want to say about that? We
have some wild stuff happening today, guys. What I wanted to share, though, is that when you connect with this film, we had mentioned earlier today, if you were in the first half of the show, that when we go up here, we have no real specific agenda. We thought we were going up to connect with the Naga Stone that we introduced you to last week, and certainly we did, and we had a lot of information, and it was actually from the Naga Stone that we arrived at this experience that we're going to share with you right now. There is a moment in the film where we did not include, because we are still unpacking it ourselves. You'll see me drop a little bit. In that moment, there was a ensoulment delivered that Sri Ramka did record. I still have not listened to it yet. I'm still integrating it on an energetic level, and this is why we have not offered it out to the public yet, but we will release it either in Soul Sourcing. I have a feeling it's probably part of Soul Sourcing, so either in Soul Sourcing or maybe on Soul Mirrors Tuesday night. So relax, and we're going to be right back with you. Now remember, if you've called in, hold on. Second half, we're going to get to you, 517-208-1500 or 888-627-6008. Get in there and hold on. We're going to be back, and we've got a lot more to share, especially after you see this. We love you.
Please enjoy.
Yeah. Hi. So this was the very first of the stones when Sri and I first came up that called that I started clearing, and everything you see here was covered. None of this was cleared out. And we were aware that it was this beautiful, beautiful flow stone, probably, a traditional archaeologist would say it was a metate. But you can see that there was a lot more here, and that's what we're trying to discover, and some of the pieces are here. And as part of the revelations of 2021, they say that this stone is the sacred container. And there is actually a way that you attune to it, that when you would come here, if you would attune this way, it reveals more. And I just had the honor of doing that, and they're asking me to share it right now. And that as I was doing this, all I heard was that there were never any sacrifices here, that this was only a temple of creation, that this was the temple of the creation, of the manifestation of that which was expanding into that which has always been and will always be. And there's enough of this left now that we've identified it, and it was the very first stone, which I find very humbling. Before we knew about the wall, before we knew anything, it was when I was touching the stone that Angel and Sri, maybe you want to turn and show them, it was when I was uncovering the stone that Angel, right there on the trail, said to Sri and I, well, there's a big wall here, and I just want Sri to show you where we are right now. You'll see as he pans around, we're at the very top of the wall.
Yeah, this wall was completely covered with vegetation, so you wouldn't have even seen it. And the pathway actually is here. And then when we began to uncover the wall, there was a profound energy release. And the stone that Kira has been sharing about is right on the path. And it too is covered, but enough was exposed that we were able to immediately find it.
And there was about, you can see right here, this is how much was exposed, this part right here. And we were coming down from our fairy village, which is a whole other experience. And it literally called, and I started swiping it away. And then we noticed that it was definitely more than what we had seen. And it was actually the first full excavation that was done. And it was right here that Angel said to us, well, there's a wall right here. So interesting where the sacred container is. Now, when you come up to the sacred container and you come from this direction, you feel the energy. It's very important you begin with your hands and that they're flat. And there's an indent right here. And they said this is so that it is comfortable to place the forehead. And it's really beautiful here. When you gaze at what's coming forward, there's a very profound creation energy. And so you take off my glasses. What you do is you come up And wow, you feel it immediately. I will tell you, there's like an energy that comes right into your third chakra, right into your power center, and is really trying to lift that up. And so I have my hands flat, and then you want to put like this. You see how the nose fits because of the way the stone is. And you close the eyes and roll up onto your star consciousness. So you begin by placing down here, and then you need to understand to roll up into an activated star consciousness. And it felt like it locked to me. And this is where that energy of the sacred container, excuse me, I'm really altered. And then they said after you ignite it, to give yourself the gift of being in, and it's in direct alignment, Shri, maybe you should stand behind me. It is in direct alignment with the sacred notch, even the angle, and to just sit and be. So this is what we'll be doing on the equinox here. This is where that creation energy begins. Wow. I feel rainbow energy. I feel incredible presence and the inability to really say anything else. They're calling it the rainbow cradle. Direct return to consciousness has a strong diversion being pulling it. And if you enter that diversion, you see this way has already been blocked, so you can't go that way. If you enter that diversion, you must cross, look at this, the literal bridge. You must cross the bridge and keep going through what's going to be a very, I'm going to use the word dark, that's the word they're giving me, experience, until you would finally hit a pathway that is still open, that can connect you back to where the choice is right now. All paths will bring you back. It's just a question of how do you want to get there? Look at that. They're showing it. They're showing it. This is, and right, what they're saying right now is, look, you've already, this one's already closed. It doesn't go anymore. It's been shut. That's how strong that compression energy is. But before you is a bridge. And if you just cross it, in other words, if you don't want to take this direct path right now, then cross the bridge, become aware of the next experience so that you are ready to walk through. And they're saying you're going to have to keep walking, that there's going to be a false, that when you start walking again, you also often have a false start or a false pathway. But the good news is it spills you right back. In other words, it's like you have a falling out or whatever, and it spills you back. So you just cycle, but you haven't lost your way. And then you get to where it all is. And look at this. And it's a little more, it's at least not a direct line, right? It's gentle. It's a gentle slope. But you see, it's still available. It's still here. It's still here. You can get there right where we'll meet you. So you can, right now, this is where humanity is at. We can come right up, or we can be called into this huge magnetic pull that's very attractive to ego. And some will say, I know the way, and they'll get stuck. And this is a spiritual activism trap. This is where a lot of people will stay, by the way. Not everybody who goes up here can release their ego enough to come back down. The good news is if they do, if you're up here and you release your ego, you see what happens? You're on the other side of the bridge. So either way, you're going to cross the bridge. You're either going to cross it directly by facing your fears, or you're going to allow your ego to guide until you can relax it enough to come back down. Either way, you're going to have that experience as well. So I find that very fascinating that we have these pathways before us right now. Well, welcome back to the Pathways Before Us Now.
Oh, I love it when we can use a way of communicating that it's so visceral. It's just to be able to touch the rock and be informed at so much deeper levels through this incredible energy.
Yeah.
And also, I trust that many of you actually felt some of that alignment that was going on as
we're right back there, guys. I mean, just wow, watching the movie just brought us right back there again. That was just yesterday afternoon. And the one thing that we want to share with you is this sacred container, this stone, the one that we were showing you in the film, that is very much a gift that is being given out that really says, remember the divine feminine is birthing. Mm-hmm. The sacred container, the birth, this cactus. This is literally what greeted us when we got up to where the petroglyphs are. This is what was saying hello. Everything is birthing. Yeah. And so in this moment right now, as we're building toward this equinox, and we are so blessed that we have been granted permission to be holding an authentic ceremony in Chobshi with our Cosmic Origins group. So we will get filmed for you. But we are going to be having the blessing of all coming together right now. What are we birthing? What is humanity calling forward? And I feel that this star consciousness activation in harmony with the divine feminine is saying, pay attention. This is the whole WWA global moment.
Absolutely. The Women Wellness and Awakenings, WWA Global, is an initiative founded by Kira Ra to support the empowerment and awakening of the balanced energy, which involves embracing the feminine. Our world has tilted so much into the zone of competition and patriarchal and hierarchy and all of those energies. And the cradle, which is why this stone is like an open vessel. This is the symbol of the feminine. The feminine energy embraces creation, embraces that which is emerging, does not seek to control it, define it, and limit it. It offers the permission for the beauty to emerge. And as we embrace that within ourselves, we embrace our true nature.
Yeah.
So here's where it ties right back. When we are able to look at creation and to look at ourselves from the attitude of being in awe, the attitude of being grateful, we allow that which is pure and wholesome within us to take birth, to be. And so the other thing I want to mention is the star consciousness alignment.
Right?
So this opportunity to...
And what did you feel? I think you should share what you felt.
I will.
Yeah.
I will, sure. Because I went through the process and I found there was a position where everything
It's a lock.
It just cradled right in.
Yeah.
From the traditional third chakra up into the star consciousness. Now, for those of you that are going, well, what's this star consciousness? Let's just say that this is the direct access to your soul's energy. It is the radiation of that portal. And that if you were looked at it clairvoyant, you would see it is part and parcel of activating the pineal and some of these other spiritual things.
Well, and I got to jump in, and it's critical. It's the first part of soul sourcing, and it got activated for us at this level in the moment that's restoring.
And so star consciousness, what I felt, to answer that question, and what you will feel, is as we anchor that opening, we are therefore anchoring into our soul's energy. You are a radiant star.
Yes.
Your star consciousness is that state of beingness, that state of, also it opens perceptions, that is beyond the influence of the worldly chakra system. Remember, the sixth chakra is tied to the seven chakra system. It has its purpose and it has its spiritual contribution. Star consciousness is the resident energy of the I am, of who you are.
In form.
And when we can look at the world with this open, what I experienced at the Lost City and what you will experience as you open your star consciousness is a deep sense of peace. I sat in the cradle of the stone, gazing off at the Compadres Mountains, and it was like, there we are. There was no questioning. There was no sense of time. There was no sense of wonder what's going on or my butt hurting or none of that. There was just...
Actually, I found it very comfortable.
There was, yeah.
I think it was carved intentionally.
There was just a sense of,
yeah,
I am. Mm-hmm. And in that sense of I am, as I enjoyed that and then moved into being aware that I was aware, kind of thing, I began to recognize that this was an incredible gift of spiritual attainment that you can touch and bring in. We are very elastic, it seems, in our vibrational capacities, meaning humankind can be pretty nasty and pretty ascended. So consider, as you look out in the world, you can see so much tragedy, and yet there's so much love.
Right.
And that's what I mean by we can be pretty elastic in our vibrational capacity. When we have an experience such as the attunement of energy that we'll be offering in soul sourcing tomorrow, or coming here and visiting this.
Or both.
Or both, yeah. What happens is we get to integrate a frequency into our identity. That is to say, the part of us that would pull us away from truly being authentic gets educated and will give permission to dwell there longer. And then it starts getting integrated. The energy integrates into the various lenses, and we begin to lift and become ever more wise and ever more able to offer support to others along the way.
Now breathe that in, right? We are at such a profound moment. We really are. And I do want to share that. If you're enjoying these photos, please, please, please head over. As a matter of fact, do us a favor. Please head over and then give us your opinion of our all brand new TosaBlueMountain.com website. We are celebrating today Bria Rose and Christine Purvis, the geniuses, the co-geniuses that really made this thing alive and birthed and have brought forward. And we're so happy and thankful to them. We have we're about 99% done, just about 1% tweak still coming. But check it out, TosaBlueMountain.com. Yeah, you'll see lots of new photos. And if nothing else, give yourself the gift of connecting with the energy here. We're also celebrating in this week of celebrations, and I hope we're hearing your celebrations as well, that we're officially open. We are officially open. We've had our first official guest this weekend. And when we say officially open, meaning we have gone through all of the checks and balances and paperwork and legalese and all the things you need to do to be a licensed hotel.
Yeah, it's not just that. We're licensed by the Ministry of Tourism in the country of Ecuador.
Yes.
And this means we meet all of the sanitary standards.
Internationally.
And for many of our friends in the United States may not realize that there are several other countries in the world that are holding this high standard and that are not having any surprises, let's say, with the whole virus thing. That as long as there are some sensible standards in place, everyone can continue to interact and have a good experience. Now, the other thing I want to mention is that once you arrive at the oasis that is Blue Mountain Sanctuary,
I call it Garden of Eden. I'm sorry. I call it.
The healing is profound. At all levels. Healing occurs when there is a greater harmony with the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual bodies, that the alignment that comes into play is more natural. And this is what we refer to as that mastery, that Garden of Eden, is that we're not out of balance. Now, what's happening in the outer world is one of those games where call it the friction or the war between light and dark, the war between any polarities, love and pain and light and dark and up and down.
Insert name.
and so when we dance with polarities, we can be over here thinking, being pretty righteous that we're doing it right and others are doing it wrong. That's a pitfall where if you hang out there too long, what happens is you activate more separation energy. Now, it's important to touch into polarity in order to understand unity. If we didn't have polarities, where would be the deep-seated recognition of the mastery of choosing oneness? Oneness is the energy that allows the poles to dance. So we don't have to participate in the polarity, yet we don't have to discount it either. Choose your anchor point. And in star consciousness is the state of beingness where we can be all that is. And that recognition is also an evolutionary journey. It begins as a felt sense, which later becomes ever more conscious. So much fun is happening, so much good things here. And I hope you enjoyed the video. There's so many more photos and things that we'll be sharing and experiences that we'll be guiding folks through when you come and visit.
I think what's fun is not only will we be guiding you through that, but you might remember from the video that right after we had this profound experience with that beautiful sacred container stone, after we had activated our star consciousness, it was like we were literally guided to the carvings on the side of that beautiful, what looks like it was a piece of a wall, maybe of a border of a wall, with some of the clearest cut glyphs I think we've seen to date. And, very evidence of where it's missing, but very clear glyphs, some of the more visible ones that I think we've seen. And I don't even know how many times we've passed that stone. And I swear it was like, wow, how did we not see that before? So all this energy started revealing for us. And what I will kind of tease you with at the end here is that just when we thought there couldn't have been anything else that we received from that day, and there were a lot of other things, we were both stunned with the discovery of a massive carving of what many might call an alien head. We are not going to release pictures of it yet. We will, but we really want to honor that energy. And so it was a fascinating discovery. Another huge stone that we have walked by, I don't even know how many times, and never saw this until yesterday. So there's a massive up-level awakening happening on a lot of levels, all of which is inviting all of us to keep expanding beyond and saying, yes, receive, receive, receive.
Now, the energy of this time is working through you.
Right.
Your beliefs, your paradigms, your consciousness. So we are not suggesting a universal experience. We are offering you an invitation to recognize the energy that is bathing all of us.
Right.
The experiences will be more unique. The energy universal, yet how the droplet bounces off the ocean is kind of, it's what's in your droplet. So we are at a time of great compression.
Yeah.
And
1 year in 1 month. We're pulling a year in.
Just play with that. Let go of the device, the mathematical mind that wants to quantify it, and say if 1 day
is 12
equals the experience of 12 days, and after a couple of days goes by, you might have trouble kind of remembering where you were. It's because it was 24 days ago.
Right. How about this morning, guys? Right?
And so this sense of time is one of those things. Now, when we're in a very strong density orientation, we're going to have our support network to keep us committed into time segmentation, whether it's the alarm clock, the social media, or whatever is keeping us chuck in there. And what happens is the universe is so kind that it sees that you're getting hypnotized, and it will throw in some polarities to help you notice that you're swinging. So it's a funny thing. The compression and the polarities ultimately are designed to help you wake up.
And to remember one thing, if you stay in joy, this is a moment where you have the unprecedented blessing of advance notice. Now, really, that's really the way to look at it, is that you really do. It's like, wait a minute, I've been able to pull in a year from now. Every day is this year 1 year forward. And I'm pulling that in, and I'm pulling that in, and I'm pulling that in, and I'm pulling that in. And as I'm reassembling how this month goes, I'm in a state of great mastery, union, presence. This is why the soul is inviting to be sourced. When Shri and I were inspired and really clearly guided to offer this follow-up to the twin flame, twin soul energy, we really didn't know it was going to be the soul sourcing. We honestly thought it was going to be a couple of years before we released that yet. And it was so clear that it had to be this year and it had to be this September, so much so that we interrupted the monthly Monday magic. So, hey, that has not ended. October 5th, it resumes again. So make sure you have registered for that. You are not automatically re-enrolled. We wouldn't do that to you. You do need to say, hey, yay, I want to continue with Monday magic. So get in there. That's also over at Shri and Kira.
That's called saying yes and making conscious choices.
Exactly. So these 2 weeks in September, and it starts with right now, today, the 13th, all the way through the 28th, this period of time is a moment of vast empowerment and vast blossoming. The question is, what energy is meeting that energy for you? And Shri, I think we should go to the phone lines because we've got people thinking about their body, people who have Shri questions, people that have what the heck's going on questions, people that have soul reading questions, and we want to hear from you all. So where are we going first?
Well, tell you what, we're just going to start saying hi to some folks.
Let's say hi.
And it looks like we have a first-time caller over at BBS, Carrie from Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
Forgive me.
Hey, yeah, right on. Carrie, namaste, sweetheart. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Oh.
We're delighted to meet you.
Mirrored right back to you, Angel.
So today I was curious as to what you could tell me about my soul.
Well, what a beautiful gift to ask. And thank you. It is always an honor. And, I'm smiling that you're our first caller and it's your first time and that you're asking about the soul experience in the moment of the soul source energy. Yeah. And so the first thing that is always a blessing when we connect is that your soul is really just gazing at you right now and radiating this beautiful smile of presence. It's like you've arrived. And I'm watching this hand. It's like coming out of the ethers. And it's very, very beautiful. And lots of beautiful rings and jewels. And it's just like this. And you've been kind of very shy about accepting it. You've been looking at it. You've not been looking at it. You've been looking at it. You've been not been looking at it. And it's like the hand is now having a face. And you're beginning to see it's you. And you're starting to like rip off the veil and stop being so shy. And they're saying that you're at a moment of that remembrance, that it's really okay to take off the veil and say yes. And they're saying that you've already really done this, but that there is still right here, I get it right at the top of your throat into your upper high heart. And Shri was just talking about the high heart activation. Bring your breath into here, love yourself a little more, and say yes to hearing even more, because the presence of your soul's wisdom is so rich within you, and you are really so good at hearing it. So thank you for the blessing, my angel. Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you so much, both of you.
Much love, dear.
Thank you, sweetheart. We love you. Mwah. Bye-bye. Wow, you feel that? I feel that. Let's all breathe, though, right here, right?
There's a little tightness in there.
Right?
Yeah.
Whew. Better. Yeah, better.
Yeah. So, beloved ones, we're going to take a couple more callers here. I do notice we have another first-timer standing by, and we always like to move you to the front of the line.
It's a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Yeah, that's it. So, over at the BBS call board on line 3, we have Erica from Eastern Oregon.
Hey, Erica. Namaste, sweetheart.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
How are you?
We are just delighted to be speaking with you.
I'm delighted to get in.
How can we serve you, honey?
So I called for a little soul reading. My sister recommended me to you guys. She's shown me a lot of things and that we go to a teaching voice where I do a inner child healing thing too. And so this is all very new to me, but she has been teaching me a lot of things. So what you guys do. And so my brain is different, but I'm still trying to apply some of those things. So, yeah, this is interesting.
All right.
We can
I'm
do that.
I'm going to mute your line a little bit, but you can hear us. So thank you for calling. Go ahead.
Thank you for calling, my love. And first and foremost, I want you to just really breathe into you. And I know you might not be able to close your eyes in this moment, but I want you to feel your inner eyes and just smile. Because right in your chest, right here, right in the high heart area, which is exactly what's activating right now, you have a very strong energy that is feeling very tight to me, almost like it's got a band around your heart. And as I share that with you, my crown chakra gets all ignited and it starts almost itching. And what's happening is that there is this, the word they're saying, stuckness. There is a stuckness between your heart and your crown chakra right now. And this is only because deep within you, you are so aware of the other changes that are before you. And they're saying, be not afraid for that which you must do. You have known this time was coming. Be true to yourself, and your soul will lead the way. Fear not, for we hear what you have not been saying. It is your time, and we are with you. Let each moment be confirmation of the magic within and the blessings that are yours to unfold. And so it is, my love. Namaste.
Many blessings.
Okay.
Thank
you
you.
too. Thank you.
Namaste. Many blessings. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Whew, you okay? Yeah. Let's all breathe into our high heart, right? And, you know, Shri, speaking of breathing into our high heart, I did want to get a birthday wish out and a birthday mini soul reading. And this is going out to Linda E. And Linda wrote over at the guest at ShriandKaraRadio.com email. So if you ever have a question or a request, you can send it there again to guest at ShriandKaraRadio.com. And it is Linda's birthday tomorrow, the 14th, and she is going to be 46, which of course is the 10, the 1 and the infinite. I just love that. And what I think is really important is she says, I feel that this birthday is extra important since I celebrated my 45th birthday 1 year ago in a hospital with severe difficulties to walk. And so she's asking for a lot of other things and shared a beautiful painting with us. And Linda, I wanted to just take a moment and wish you that beautiful birthday mini soul reading, and also to reach out to everyone who right now is conscious of this. I found the timing of this as we're really in the peak of this 1 year coming into one of leaping ahead while we're looking back, because it actually ties into your mini soul reading. And so right now, let's all take in a deep breath. And as we bring our hands to our heart, go back a year ago. Each of you that is connecting right now, for we are each going through this moment together. And as we each go back a year ago, Linda, you were in the hospital with walking difficulties. Each of you who may be connecting with this energy right now, where were you a year ago? What was your life experience a year ago? Just gaze at it from above. Don't engage it. Witness it. Be above it, witness it, witness it, witness it. Stay in that multidimensional experience of it. You don't need to feel it, witness it. You're watching a movie. And now, feeling the wisdom of the you that is witnessing, send love back through that past year. Just keep flooding love, 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 love. Just send it back through a full year. Go into that energy you've been in, see that love, and feel all of that, staying with that experience of this past year, filled with love. Every single thing that has brought you to this moment now, every single thing that has brought you to this moment now, filling it with love, filling it with love, filling it with love. There it is. And then in this moment right now, consciously aware that you have already called forward this very moment in September 2021, that you've already pulled that in, that you're already in day 13, that you've already ticked that calendar for 13 days, bringing these two together. What do you instantly see a year from now? Knowing that this year is being integrated, and knowing that as you begin letting go of what even looking at what a year would look like, what do you just know is true? And this will train you to release all that is holding you in density. Go beyond into that which you know is true as you release all that is that of density. Feel yourself floating now. Feel that beautiful remembrance of the fluidity, seeing the all in the expansion. What is it that you know is true? That is the moment your soul is sourced and you begin to unfold all that is. Thank you for calling forward this reading, Linda, because it has benefited the all and the one. That is the world we are stepping into right now, when we choose to let go of our ego and meet each other without the jealousy, without the competition, without the ego. When we can stand in unified spirit as inspiration is the guide, coming together in the harmonic respect and remembrance that as aspects of the one we all, the each is the one and the one is now here. When we can do that, when we can come together, when we can each carry the sword of our unique experience, standing next to the one, that's when we can really shift the consciousness. And I just want to share that that is the WWA Global Summit experience that we are having right here at Tosa Blue Mountain in March 2021. And I invite you with all your heart and my heart and our collective heart to join us here and let us roar together. Let us send out a signal of light from the top, from this temple where my husband is going to have us broadcasting, and let us gather and demonstrate what we already know is manifesting. This isn't the time to talk about it. It's the time to do it. We are at the literal 0 hour. We are at the literal, if not now, when moment. So much so, do you think it's not blowing our minds what's happening up there? Every time we go up there, I mean, guys, everybody's minds are being blown. We go up just because we want to breathe, because it's just so nourishing. It's so inspiring. We write, we talk, we enjoy the views. But then it reveals more. Yeah. It's starting to trust us more and remind us all of the blessing of trust, that we are here in complete trust. And when that sincerity, love, and presence is received by Mother Gaia, by the ancient energies that have held her together, by our known presence, it's just as Archangel Zadkiel said. When the time arrives, you will not be known by your words. You will be known by your energy and by your heart. The emission of your heart is the creation of the energy around you. All energy is neutral. You cannot play your way off the game board. You cannot bribe your way off the game board. You cannot manipulate your way off the game board. You cannot do anything to play your way off the game board. It is a consciousness experience, and that is the path to freedom.
Yeah. And that is truly what our world is so thirsty for.
Yeah.
As we look at Gaia and the children of Gaia and the countries and the peoples on this planet, the more of us that can anchor ascended consciousness within the body that we're having right now, the more of us that can bring, in the simplest word to use is to bring the love of the divine expressed through your form and radiating non-judgment out into the shared ocean. We calm the waters, we inspire others to do the same, and we have great joy whilst being and doing it.
Right?
And so the world is saying the only thing that is required is an upliftment of consciousness.
It is that simple.
And it is that challenging because it means we, each of you, must do your work. And your work is unhooking the addiction to the egoic lens of separation.
And to finding peace with it.
Finding peace with it,
Because
yes.
remember, my angels, that it is that addiction to the fear, the doubt, and the anger, the jealousy, the greed. You know, in our very first book, Sacred Union, The Journey Home, which has been continually out there now for 15 years because it's really just an eternal book, Zadkiel talks about how there will come a time when the false god of money will come to rule. We are in that time. We published this 15 years ago. It's about the false god of money. And then Zadkiel talked about the false god of time would be the next marker. We are there because we can no longer live within the sense of the time. Yeah. As a matter of fact, trying to is why you are being bombarded. There is a 24-hour attention-getting system that is in competition for your consciousness. Are you sleeping and able to release that? You know, have you connected with the Avesa dream practice? Remember that your spiritualized experience, the soul energy, the gift of this entire divine energy does not stop just because this body needs to be plugged in for a while. When the body sleeps, everything else is still going on. And the conscious experience of that, of putting the body into stasis while consciously joining with the sleep space, is a way to expand your consciousness. And it's as easy as the Avesa dream connectivity practice. We've made this free for years. This is the time when learning how to command, and sometimes the only way you can begin is by commanding in your sleep and just saying, okay, I can't turn it off here. I'm just feeling like a failure. Okay, stop trying, but do something. Do something, or stop trying to do something and dive in over here. Archangel Zadkiel has always made that clear. Just get off the fence. You know, find your joy and follow it, because regardless of the journey, it will take you where you're needing to go as far as experience goes, and then you'll wake up through whatever experience that is. There's always more. It's when we actually believe we have attained our highest state of consciousness, or that there's nothing left for us to learn, that we have indeed reached our plateau. It's that self-imposed ceiling, right? There's always more. And let us not forget that we are now at a point on our experience, on our journey of all of us doing this. We have gone further than we have ever gone before. We are co-creating this together. We are collectively doing this in real time. And so the more of us that are aware is the more beautiful it can be. You are not a victim. And let us not forget that it is the victim energy. I'm getting tons of emails. Sri and I are receiving tons of emails from people saying, I had, people writing me saying, we've been on your show and everything was great and now it's bad again and this turned around and I'm having this experience and that experience. Guys, it's the victim triangle having its last hurrah. That's where the ego resides, because the ego needs a victim. The ego needs a rescuer, and the ego for sure needs an abuser. And it's trying to stop that new age of the mentor, teacher, healer experience.
And the energy, all of the things we've been sharing with you are ways of languaging something that is occurring.
Yeah.
You will have your own ways of languaging it. You will have your own experiences, and you go, oh, okay, now I have a direct experience that matches up with what Sri and Kira were sharing. The key is not to think that you have to have the right concepts. The key is to know the difference between joy and no joy. Now, that's not as tough, is it? To know the truth of that frequency of joy inside. And joy can be very peaceful as well as very electric.
Yeah.
And when we begin to listen to our own truth filters, meaning our own barometer, that inner compass of deep peace and deep joy will always guide you. There's no need for dogma. There's no need for anything on the exterior to confirm anything. We just trust that which brings us joy. And we will refine our palate with more experiences. Sometimes we think that which brings us joy is a little more than ice cream for the spiritualized ego. We got a little ice cream.
He
over
likes
it.
ice cream.
Yeah, and then we go, wait a minute, that was a real temporary moment. It wasn't the deeper joy, and so we cultivate our discernment, and that's part of the fun.
Yeah. It really, I love that. And, it always brings me back to Archangel Zadkiel, because remember that what Sri is sharing with you, this is the essence of the yoga of self-ascension. And it was Archangel Zadkiel who said in our first book, Sacred Union, The Journey Home, that it's about peace first.
Yeah.
That we begin with peace. And it's the peace that knows the self. And then that ignites the love that transcends any need. Because it is that love of that self that arises through that peace that then births the joy that Sri is describing. The joy that becomes the illumination of the sacred union of the one. And that moment, that peace, love, joy, those are the building blocks that ignite the self-ascended chakras, that assist the chakras to move from those orbs into these beautiful, beautiful figure eights. And so that's how we hold the ascended presence. And then we ignite our heart into its ascended presence, the double figure eight, and we ignite our ascended self. That's the yoga of self-ascension, is arriving at that moment of the full illumination. And that moment is right now. And remember that all of that is being gifted in this year right now at a rate that is exponential. It is in direct proportion to your steadfast commitment, focused awareness, and complete trust, because the only catch is that you are the only one who can hold open your force field, your 0 point energy that ignites that framework of support. Now, Sri, there's a lot of hands raised for Sri over here at Oneness Talk Radio. So I'm just seeing all these people saying, I want to talk to Sri. No, I want to talk to Sri. And you're going to the wireless unknown. I want to talk to Sri.
That's it. All right.
All
so here we go. We're going to unmute your line. Wireless caller, welcome to the show.
Welcome. You've raised your hand.
Hello there.
Trust it's you and say something. Okay.
That's fine.
Then we'll go somewhere else. All right, wireless caller. We tried. All right, Sri, where are we going next?
Oof, there's a little fly.
Okay.
All right. Well, I think just for fun,
Okay.
I think we want to try another wireless caller.
All right, we're going to go to Omaha, Nebraska, it looks like maybe. Hey, wireless caller in Omaha, Nebraska. Namaste and welcome.
You know what?
Are we on mute, honey? I see.
I think when we had our hiccup,
We are not on the we're not.
we lost it. Yeah.
Okay.
We're coming back to you.
Well, then let's go over to BBS, Sri, and we'll welcome a caller while we're launching the board.
Yeah. When we had that hiccup, we didn't realize that it
Okay,
reset
well, let's
everything.
see. Okay, but now we're here. Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's try another one. Here we go, Sri.
Here, let's just try. We're going to start over again. We're going to go to this wireless caller. and
Okay,
say-
wireless caller with your hands up for Sri. Namaste, and we're going to try it again.
Wow, it's me now.
Hey!
Wow.
Woo-hoo! Sorry about
I
that.
was holding on. No, I was holding on the other BBS, and then I merged the calls, and I lost you. So now I'm glad I got you.
Well, okay, so
welcome.
how
This is for
perfect was
Sri.
this? Yes.
Welcome.
Sri, my sister suffered a stroke like a year ago, and she's having a lot of problems. Is this part of the ascension? Like, I think she's losing weight like Sure did. So I'm wondering, it's over a year now.
So
She's not the same person.
right. So rather than talk about her, I want to first ask you, how does this affect you?
Well, she's my older sister, and I actually looked up to her in this path of ascension, though we went different ways.
Okay.
But I sort of feel like I'm in a better space for what we're doing. God.
Yeah, and oftentimes an older sibling can be a way shower, and give you a preview of what might be coming, and that could be good news, bad news, kind of. So the thing I want to say then is twofold. Number one is your path is yours, and the gift of your love for her can inform you and teach you. Yes, when a person has a stroke, is that what you said she had?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Medi, so beautiful.
Yeah. So think about this for a moment, just from an overview. The brain is governed by the seventh chakra. The seventh chakra is the wisdom chakra, the divine connection at the top of the head.
The crown.
The crown. And when the blood coagulates in any area of the body, it's saying, this is where I want to bring my sacred attention, my joy. That it's a reminder that, hey, this is the area or the environment that is calling to her. Mm-hmm. So one way for spirit to call to you is through that coagulation, which is saying, now all of my energy is coming up here to, number one, to heal it, but number two, to pay attention.
Yeah.
So consider this could be an act of grace that comes with an immediate shock and challenge to the physical, yet the spiritual gifts may still be unfolding.
So breathe that in.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, really.
I don't want to disempower her. I want her to be empowered. So I'm letting her figure it out on her own.
That's the gift she's giving you too. That's the blessing. It's always the mirror. It's just such a beautiful blessing, right? And so you receiving the gift she's giving you frees her to receive the gift you're giving her. So I just bow before your mastery and thank you for calling that into the show today.
I still have my tuning fork. I'm hoping that maybe she'll allow me to do that on her, the cosmic opening.
Wonderful. And when
I got to do me.
All right. Wonderful.
Yeah, good idea.
Perfect.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Love,
we
dear.
love you, honey. Mwah. Namaste. Wow.
Love you, guys.
We love you. We love you. Wow, Shri. All right. Where are we going next, my love?
Well, I tell you what, I'm following in the footsteps of
where we were. We're going to go back to Omaha. All right.
We're going to say hi to Omaha here. Are you there?
Hey, Omaha, Nebraska. Welcome.
Hello.
Hola. Hi, sweetheart.
Yes. Hi. It doesn't. Sorry. Your episode is very touching today.
Thank you.
When you talked about the soul twins, they touched something in me because I was reunited with someone that I had an issue with 3,000 years ago. And when it was done and as it was completed, now when you were at the rock showing the pathway, I was stuck in that dark. And I would like to know a mini soul reading where I'm currently at right now.
Well, first and foremost, I just want you to bring your hands right to your heart, and I want you to just love yourself more. I feel a knife in your heart, and it's just, I have tears in my eyes. And so I just want you to really hold your heart, because where you are right now is a moment of incredible, you are at the precipice of a truth that you have known, that has been denied, that has been hurt, and that right now they're saying only you can pull that knife out and turn it into a flame, hold it up as a torch, and become who you are meant to be. And it is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. I do feel like my ego and soul are angry because the soul is infinite,
right?
But the human body is not.
And right now your ego's winning because you're still intellectualizing. So the more that you ask the questions, the more that your ego gets triggered, the more that you want to dive into that, the more your ego's going, yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then the you that knows the infinite presence that got through today begins to smile more and starts dancing more and starts going, wow, I get it. I see it. Let's do this. For every question, there is a love dance waiting. And that's the loop right now. And so it's about looking in the mirror and getting really honest, because which do you really want? And then go with the one you want and go for it. But the key is that you are at a precipice moment and you brought yourself here. And I bow before that. Yeah. The master is ready to dance again. And so Shri and I are here dancing already, and we're happy to dance with you too. So thanks for calling in, honey. We love you.
Much love, dear.
Mwah. Many blessings.
You know, it reminds me that so often we get to dance with these, call it the angel on the shoulder, the devil on the other
Darker
shoulder.
light, game on, right?
And it can be a little tormenting.
Or a lot.
Or a lot tormenting. And it can help stimulate the experience of frustration or anger.
Yeah.
Remember, anger arises when we feel like our boundaries have been violated.
Or when we're not ready to expand.
Yeah.
You know, because like, for example, how many of you just heard what I shared and felt your ego triggered or not? I mean, think about that, right? In the eyes of the master, your ego will always be triggered at some point. That's the gift, to keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. To keep going and to trust that the divine cradle is holding you even when you are not noticing the love.
Wow. You know, and then that brings me right back to yesterday when we were sitting in that sacred container, that sacred cradle, you know, and to look at the way that in this compression energy, look at how things are coming together very quickly. Look at how density, you know, third dimension, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, all the dimensions are also being very, very available. It's an incredible moment.
It is a powerful moment.
Yeah.
And for a lot of folks, the experience of this power is going to bring up emotional stuff. It's going to bring up, we use our brain to try to solve problems. It becomes a natural way of, if I could just figure this out.
So I have to jump in. So imagine using your soul instead.
There you go.
Right?
Imagine trusting that which doesn't communicate as often in words.
Exactly. So this is that moment of soul sourcing, of saying yes, of going deeper. This week, remember the next 4 days, the perfect balance moment. What are you bringing into that illuminated new moon? Because it's all getting ready to amplify. This is the week of the manifestation of your dreams. Whatever you've envisioned, whatever you think your life is about, try it on this week. Get it out there. Do it. Amplify your life with love and watch what's going to birth. This is the week to do it. And that's why the source of the soul is standing by to help. If you feel compelled or called at all, join us. Go to ShriandKira.com. It is right on the homepage. It is a donation event. Your donation, Shri and I are doing it we are just giving it out there. 100% donations are going over to the Indigenous Peoples Funds. Please join us, help yourself, help our world.
You know, every time that we partake of spiritual education, we hone our own discernment filters. Right? It's not about intellectual knowledge, though there will be concepts shared. Yeah. It's not about getting a certificate on your wall. It's about acquiring a wisdom that is yours to claim once the mirror has been polished and the radiation comes in so you can see it. Soul sourcing is unique material that we will be making available tomorrow evening. Please join us.
Well, and I want to share before we run out of time that those of you that were not at the first Twin Flame, Twin Soul, you get that as a bonus. We just want to get that information out there, because remember that we are at the moment of divine sacred union, knowing your soul source and the way that your soul's energy is experiencing this moment helps us all claim greater consciousness.
And this is why it's a two-parter. It's going to happen bridging
Between
the up levels and the energy of this time is just perfect. So give yourself the gift of activating your divine wisdom and your discernment and the knowingness that will help carry you home.
Which means we get to see you tomorrow night. And remember, on Tuesday Soul Mirrors, we're going to continue this conversation, because you really can heal anything and everything this week. Be there. Powerful evening.
So, beloved ones, take a deep breath. Feel the gratitude of being together, of activating what's activated. And until we come together again next week, may you breathe deeply and trust that all is truly well. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you for joining us at Shri and Kira Live. To have your questions answered, send us an email to guest@shriandkiraradio.com and check out more information at shriandkira.com. See you next week. Namaste.